Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. This is the top 10 tips, tricks, recommendations, suggestions, hacks, awareness, whatever you want to call them. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Definitely appreciate the share. This is Pepper. She shakes more than I do. She's getting very, very old, and some days she acts like a puppy, and other days we think she's on her last breath, so we got to watch out for her. For some reason today, she keeps coming to my bar, and she's never done that before, so it's a little weird. And I'm the babysitter this weekend, so I've decided to end the weeks of the top 10 tips, tricks, recommendations, and hacks. This is going to be week 36. This will be the last week. I know I'm going to think of more tips and tricks afterwards, but I wanted to make sure they were viable. I don't want to just throw weird crap out there. So today I was going to do 12. I'm actually going to do 13. I thought of one. It's super minor, but I want to make sure people are aware, because if you're not aware, it's a lot bigger than minor. Something to be aware of. Say hi, Pepper. Say hi. She's acting a little weird today. I don't know what her issues are, but she's definitely acting a little weird. I'm gonna set her down. Go on, girl. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing, definitely appreciate it. Also, I want to say a special thank you, and I'll put a link down below. I love my Scylla from Jaded Brewing, and lately, I don't know what's going on, it's like Christmas. People are hitting my affiliate links on this bad boy and buying them and buying them and buying different ones. So I definitely appreciate it. It throws me a little chump change, helps cover some costs, definitely appreciate it. Why are you behind the bar? You never come back here. Don't know what's going on. It's a little scary, but at least she is walking, so it's all good. So without further ado, let's jump right into this as I almost hit the wall. Never good. Number one, Fermenter versus Fermentor. ER versus OR. Technically speaking, a fermenter is the yeast doing the fermentation in a container or apparatus that maintains optimal, or hopefully optimal, conditions for the growth is the fermentor. But in home brewing, these terms are more commonly referred to as such, that the fermenter is something like this. Instead of the fermentor, it's the fermenter. So if you hear fermenter, it's usually meaning a carboy or something like a carboy. If you hear the word Fermentor in home brewing, it's usually the container, or could be a chest freezer. For me, it's a big gigantic insulated box with a little dorm fridge on the back to help allow for optimal conditions. That way I can put a bunch of fermenters inside of my fermentor at around the same temperature. And I know certain areas I have gradient temperature, which means if I get closer to the heater, it's going to get a little warmer. If I get closer to the fridge / little freezer, it's going to get cooler. And I watch for that. But that's something to be aware of. Number two, and if you haven't kegged or you don't have a fermentor, you don't know what this is going to be about. But if you are getting one, building one, or look to have one, you need to know this. How to reduce moisture in your kegerator, Keezer, or fermentor. Damp-rid is a great one. Systems like that, activated charcoal, it will help. In Eva-Dry, I had my Eva-Dries around here. Here they are. I have an old one. What are you doing, girl? You're never back here. A very old one and a not so old one. Eva-Dry, I like them, I use them, I abuse them. But these things will help to reduce the moisture, which helps to reduce bacteria and mold. Yes, you will get bacteria and mold if you let the humidity build up. It gets nasty. You have to clean that. That is one of those things, it's just preventive maintenance to avoid that. Number three, Eva-Dry and reusable systems. And I should know this one, but I'm in denial. There we go. Eva-Dry and reusable systems, they diminish their effectiveness over time and need to be replaced from time to time. My really old one, I had that heated all day. It's still showing blue with a little bit of orange. Orange means it's good. Blue means it's got some moisture in it. And then this one is my newer one, and I say newer very loosely, maybe a year and a half, 2 years old at least. It's very, very blue. Even though it's a lot of orange in there, it's getting way too much blue. It does still shake around, which is a nice sign. This one, not as much. These things are reusable, but not forever. So you need to replace them from time to time. Number four, how to stop and inhibit mold and bacteria in your Keezer or Fermentor or kegerator. First, as discussed, keeping excess moisture under control is the obvious one. But regular cleaning includes things like, yes, I know you're gonna go, bleach and or Lysol. I personally spray down the inside of my fermenter, and I've done the Keezer with bleach. After I clean it, I spray it down, I wipe it down one more time because I don't want to leave a lot of that in there. Baking soda will help too, but it needs to be in a drier condition and it needs to be replaced quite regularly. I'm allergic to bleach, so I kind of avoid it like the plague, and I really hate using this stuff, but you know, sometimes I just have to go to bed itching like almighty hell. Just is what it is. Number 5, disconnect seals. And I'm talking about your disconnects. I'm talking about every part of a disconnect that goes on a keg. If you don't have it, buy it. Keg gel, they should call it keg grease. It says lubricant. That stuff is gooey and sticky. The other thing that I like a lot, which I thought I'd put one down here, and I'll probably have to put a picture up on the screen because these things are about impossible to see, are these tiny little white flares. And they fit perfectly on the top end of a disconnect, and then you screw it on. It doesn't screw as tight, but if the disconnect isn't sealing well, these things are really very useful. Sometimes they create a leak, other times they help with a leak. If you don't have a leak, don't use them. If you have a leak, try it. I got a bag of these a long time ago, and they're crazy cheap for an entire bag. And I'll leave a link down below. I gotta look it up. I have it saved somewhere because, like I said, it's very hard to find. I found them on Amazon. I do like them, but they will help if you have some weird issue where you're having a leak, whether it be liquid or if it's air. And before we go to number 6, since this is the last one, I'm gonna have an intermission. I know you're looking at me going, is he on drugs? Okay, yeah, I want to go out with a bang, so instead I'm going out with unicorn farts. Yes, unicorn farts. It is a glittered sour ale with fruit cereal, yeah, Fruity Pebbles type, yeah, and edible glitter. 5.5%, nothing special. A little weird even for my take. Oh wow. It's not even, I thought it would be a weird color. Sorry, dog went nuts, but like I said, unicorn farts. It's very foamy. I don't see any glitter. I'm kind of distressed and upset. I want it glitter. I mean, do I have to shake the heck out of this thing? Where's the glitter? I'm very upset and very let down right now. Okay, Duclaw Brewing Company. I'm let down. I have no glitter. I don't, oh man, come on. I've had wine with more glitter than this. I see nothing. Ooh. Fruit sour. Oh, like sucking on a lemon. I mean, I love lemons, but wow. Okay, they did not let me down on the sour part, even though I'm not a huge sour fan. Okay, I see something floating in there. Maybe that's supposed to be glitter. I don't see any shiny glitter. I would expect it lots of pretty shiny reflective glitter, and I don't see it. I wanted to go out with a sparkle, but oh well. It is what it is. It's definitely a fruity sour beer with a major lemon bite, like taking a lemon and just taking a chunk out of it. Let's jump right into number 6. And sadly, all my brewing books are packed up and in storage at the moment due to the move. Number 6, find a great book that helps you better the areas of need or to inspire you. Such as the one I have 2 and would have given one away quite a while ago, but I'm pretty sure I've splashed beer on both of them. How to Brew by John Palmer. Being the most famous home brewing book out there, by hands down. Or his malt, water, hops, and yeast books, which I think I have 1 or 2 of those. I would need to get the whole 4 set. I just haven't gotten around to it. They're awesome. And of course, there are too many to mention, but there are also some great books that are actually done by some of the professional brewers, or at least professional brewers have had a lot of input that include anywhere from next to nothing to as many as 200 or even 300 recipes, and a lot of them being clone recipes from professional brewers. I do have a question about number 6. Leave a comment down below. I'm thinking, and I've been tossing around some ideas on a giveaway. Y'all didn't seem to like the extract giveaway. You definitely loved the Kvak yeast giveaway. But if you want a brewing book giveaway, and I'm not talking Kindle. If you want Kindle, let me know. I don't think most of you have Kindles or Kindle apps or like to brew that and you prefer something in your hands, kind of like I do, let me know. I might do a giveaway and do a bunch of random brewing books out there and just give them away to whomever. And that might be one of the giveaways we'll do. Number 7, and I've talked about this before, but very specifically, this is a very broad one, online calculators. There is so much free help on the web. I'm talking such as hydrometer temperature correction, ABV calculators, IBU, SRM, dilution, boil off, yeast pitch rate, converters, LME, DME, whatever. Priming calculator, keg carbonation calculators, forced carbonation charts, etc. Yes, I used to be in broadcasting. I can speak really fast if I need to, but there are so many calculators out there for anything you can imagine. There's even ones you can put in what size bottles you have and it'll tell you exactly how many ounces you can bottle or milliliters so that you know, hey, I have X, what kind of bottles can I use? Something to be aware of. Number 8, visual impairment. This might be because of people like me, and I know there's 24% according to YouTube, people my age or older, I'm 52, and there's some people just born with visual impairments. Magnifying glass with a light, yes, makes life so easy when you're trying to read a hydrometer. Other thing that I like, and I use even more so, is a smartphone. You can take a picture and zoom in later, but you want to zoom in right away, just make sure you got a good quality picture, because like me, my hands shake sometimes and looks a little blurry. Or you can take the camera out and you can zoom right in, so that way you can read things that maybe you couldn't read before, whether it be some instructions on like the defoamer that are written in microscopic print, or a hydrometer that you just can't see, it's been a long day. Hopefully that's not the reason for the visual impairment, but I'm just saying. Just saying. Number 9, pros and cons to a partial boil. If you brew 5 gallons and you add that to your fermenter, supposedly it will taste better compared to doing a 3-gallon boil and topping it off with 2 gallons of water. But if you're limited on your pot size and your brewing equipment, it is what it is. Consider it this way. If you can only brew, let's say, 3 gallons and you want 5 gallons and you add 2 gallons, well, add 2 gallons of cold or even frozen water. That will help cheer your beer down considerably and very quickly. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and whatever you have to work with, especially when you're just learning to brew, just brew on, who cares? Number 10, pre-crushed grains. If you don't have a grain crusher and you purchase your grains pre-crushed, I see this all the time on Reddit and other sites. If you don't think they crush them, just put the grain in your hand and see if you can easily open the husk, or the grain, should we say. It may be crushed, but a lot of times they crush them in such a way that it just doesn't look like it's crushed, and you push on it and the husk just breaks right open. It may or may not affect your efficiencies, but it will give you a great grain bed, which is awesome. And you don't necessarily need to, pulverize them, should we say. But if you're doing brew in a bag, your LHBS, local home brew shop, or online brewing company, sometimes we'll do what they call a double crush, or we'll do a brew in a bag crush, which means they're gonna crush it a little finer and you're gonna have a little more close to pulverized. But that might work better for you based on what you're doing, especially if you're doing brew in a bag. It is definitely an option. Number 11, bottling, lazy bottling. You can call it whatever you want. We'll call it lazy bottling. Use bigger bottles, so you don't have to do as many bottles. Yes, you don't have to do 12-ounce bottles. You can do 16.9 ounce or whatever size that you feel works for you, you can do a bigger bottle. Number 12, referring to bottles, mixing bottle sizes. If you're doing priming sugar, just a warning. Some of those bottles will carbonate faster than others. It seems to have to do with more of headspace. I don't remember the whole research behind it, but basically, if I remember right, the larger ones with the smaller headspace overall based on volume will carbonate faster than the smaller ones with the same amount of headspace. Just something to be aware of. Number 13, and this is the one that just kind of popped into my head because I was moving this around. Star sand. PPW will probably do it too, but star sand. And I swear to God, this thing has a leak. I don't understand. It's always gooey. It always feels like it's leaking. But if I squeeze it, nothing comes out. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, number 13, star sand. Be careful. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, let me explain. If you set this on granite, you set this on any countertop, and it has any residual star sand on it, it will eventually leave a mark. If you put it in cabinets, wood, fake wood, it doesn't matter. It will leave a mark. So For you home brewers out there with Star San, put this inside of a plastic container, put some plastic under it, put something under it wherever you put it. I sometimes set it up here on the wire rack because I'm not worried about the wire rack, but I've had to put shelf paper to avoid damage from this thing. Star San will eat away at whatever you set it on. It is just that effective. Now I do spray it watered down based on the directions and clean things all the time and have no problem. But if you set this on here and you leave it, it will eventually start to eat into the material. So be careful with that. That is something that is huge. And if you've never done it, you're going to go, oh, wow, I can't believe that. Thank you again for joining me on these 36 episodes. Yes, 36. If I can think of more, maybe I'll do some bonus 37, 38 maybe, but we'll see. Don't forget, if you haven't checked out the home beers from around the world, check that out. I am working on another series to help replace this one, and it's gonna take some time to get that one out, and sadly, that one will probably be every 2 weeks to maybe every month. It's gonna require a lot of interaction with some other people, so that one may take a little while before I get going. Thank you again for joining us here at Bitter Reality Brewing. Yes, I got some more toys, and I'm gonna have to pucker up on this sour. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you again.